Welcome to The Ascended Table, the podcast where we blend science-backed advice with supernatural secrets and deeply personal stories to help you build the life you truly desire. If you've ever felt like there must be a deeper level to health, success, and personal power, you're in the right place. Get ready to pull up a seat. The truth is being served. This is The Ascended Table.
I'm going to share with you a secret to spotting unhealthy, healthy food. But first, we have to learn how to read a nutrition label. Sounds silly, right? You may not know this, but ingredients are listed from the greatest amount to the least amount. A good rule of thumb is if sugar's in the first 5 ingredients, throw it out. This seems healthy, right? In just one bar, it's hiding this much sugar. Next rule of thumb, always look at the serving size. You probably think 1 can equals 1 serving size. Not true. When's the last time you had a bowl of soup this big? Because that's the serving size. And this is how they reel you in. And this is how they trick you into thinking you're eating something healthy when you're not.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. And I'm going to be reading my labels.
So we are told that we live in the most advanced medical age in history, right? But we're sicker, we're more anxious, and we're more disconnected than ever. So it's so important to pay attention to the food that we put in our bodies.
Yes.
And it's kind of a challenge to do that because they actually make the labels even hard to read.
Of course they do. There's like so many, it's this far, and who takes the time to read all of them? And they're so small and we don't understand what they're saying anyway.
Yes.
So why don't you undo the mystery for us?
Well, we're going to do that. I'm going to teach you guys how to read a nutrition label.
Sorry.
One of my favorite rules for reading a label is if sugar is in the top 5 ingredients, just throw it away.
Okay.
That's one of the keys to reading a label because they hide sugar. All right, so this is a fact. They have 60 different terms for sugar on labels.
60.
60.
60?
No wonder we can't read labels or know what we're eating or know if it's good or not. And that is also the most inflammatory food that we eat,
Of course.
is sugar.
And I think that's the whole premise of this, right? Is doing away with the myths that we think is great and is not, and really putting in the right information.
Love that.
So we can activate.
I've learned so much from our platform because I go around interviewing like the top doctors, naturopaths from across the nation for My Wellness by Nature. Mm-hmm. One of our favorite doctors, he's amazing. We all love him, is Dr. De Silva.
Yes.
And sugar is one of his favorite topics to talk about. Do you want to learn what he told us about?
I sure do. Yes.
All right, this is how sugar works in the body.
Okay.
Let's watch this.
In general, most of us know that sugars are bad, but sugars come in disguise. Let's expand a little bit on that.
Okay, now you're making me hyperventilate when you talk about sugar. For anybody that knows me, one of my biggest pet peeves are hidden sugars. Sugars are found in everything. Sugars are found literally. You could eat this glass and I'll bet you there's some sugar in here. It's incredible how much sugar is and where sugar is everywhere. But sugars, what they do is this. When you eat something that is a sugar, and I'm talking about simple sugars, all right? I'm not talking about complex carbs and things like that. I'm talking about, the white rice, the white flour, the bagels, donuts, cookies, ice cream, candy. And there's always an excuse. There's 1 month during the year that there's no national celebration or holiday. Do you know what month that is?
August?
How does this girl know all this stuff? You know what? August is the only month that there isn't a holiday that people celebrate with candy. What I tell people is, you always have an excuse. I don't want to hear them. Don't stop whining to me. Stop complaining. We had a birthday party. My girlfriend got married. I don't care. It's fine. My son's getting married. My boys are both married. There's always birthday parties. Do I eat the whole cake? I take a little piece. And how often is your birthday? Every month? Some people's birthdays every week. So, stop making the excuses. What it does is as soon as you eat sugar, what happens here, folks, is that you eat the sugar and your blood levels rise, all right? So you eat that sugar, your blood levels rise. As soon as it rises, your body produces, when it gets up here, it produces insulin because it's got to bring the sugar down. Insulin is called a lipogenic substance, meaning as soon as that insulin is produced, your body produces fat. So every time your body spikes your body produces fat. It comes back down, you eat another cookie and another bagel, it goes back up, and you make some more insulin, you make more fat. That is why I try to keep my patients off insulin. For those of you that have been on insulin, what do? You go to the doctor, gives you insulin, you come back, you've gained a little bit more weight, you get a little bit more insulin, you gain a little bit more weight, and it becomes this vicious cycle. How do you get off of that insulin? You stop eating the junk and stop making excuses and stop thinking that every day is your birthday, all right? So sugar has to do with these hidden, nasty effects. Not only does it affect it makes you gain weight, but what sugar does is that it produces inflammation. The word inflamme comes from the Greek word meaning fire. That's where that word comes from. That's where word inflammation comes from. So we got to put out the fire. No matter what it is you have to do to put out the fire, you got to put out the fire. And sugar, people say to me, well, but is eating a mango or eating a banana a sugar? All right, since you've answered all my questions, what's the difference between sugar that you get in a packet and a banana?
Well,
You're very
natural,
smart, by the way.
natural. Thank you.
You're very smart.
Natural comes to mind.
Right.
That we wouldn't we want to get sugar that's occurring more naturally than we've added it.
Absolutely. So there's two forms of sugar, right? If I had sugar in this cup, and if I took this cup and I put some strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, whatever in here, the difference between these two sugars is that this sugar, that is just pure sugar, is there any magnesium in here? Is there any fiber in here? Is there any calcium in here? Is there any iron in here? Are there any flavonoids in here? No. What's in this sugar? Well, we've got some calcium, we've got some iron, we've got some magnesium, we've got some flavonoids, we've got all these good things that are in this sugar that has a bunch of fruits and vegetables, mostly fruit, right? And the difference is this. Which cup am I drinking out of? I'm only kidding. So what happens to insulin? What happens is when you eat the fruit and the vegetables most of the time, and also complex carbs, your sugar doesn't do this. Your sugar does this. It's a gradual increase. So you don't get this massive release of insulin. You get a little bit of insulin, and then it comes back down, and it doesn't drop. So it stabilizes. And the difference, again, the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients that are in there is what makes that difference between the two.
He's amazing, by
He
the
is
way.
amazing.
Is that the sugar creates fat, the chemical response
Right.
in the whole cycle of that. And I think that's enough for me to say, I don't want that. I don't want that.
We all need that one thing that we think of in our heads that
Right.
will stop us. Like Christian, for instance, he's producing today, by the way.
Yes. Yay, Christian.
Christian got over sugar by thinking of it as fire in his body. So inflammation,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So your trigger
Right.
is fat, his is inflammation. You just got to find that thing that will trigger your head when you're looking at that cookie or
Yeah.
that donut.
to say no.
Say, no, I
Right.
don't need that. My body doesn't want it. It won't make me
Right.
feel good.
Right. And I know what it does emotionally because when our blood sugar rises and then falls, we feel tired, we feel sluggish, we feel depressed, we feel, lethargic. And then we're hungry again.
Yep.
And so it triggers our hunger. So we go and grab another thing that is quickly going to spike that up again.
Precisely why they put sugar in food.
Right. Wow.
And the non-natural sugars.
Yeah.
So we see that the fruit sugars are great. Actually, I have a pro tip.
Let's do it.
Like if you're at a birthday party and you're like, okay, I have to have a cake because it's rude if I don't. If you eat a piece of fruit first, like something high in natural sugars, it lowers your insulin spike.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great tip.
That's a
my gosh.
That's a girl hack.
That's a girl hack. I love that.
Also, I have one other girl hack.
What is it?
I mean, guys can use this too, but your body only tastes the first 3 bites of any food you eat. Like you really only taste it 3 times.
Really?
Yes.
3? Mm-hmm. Just 3. So we should just have 3 bites of everything, right? To get the full benefit.
It's the 3-bite rule. I mean, think about it. Like, so you take a
Wow.
bite of ice cream, tastes great. Take a bite again, tastes, you can still taste it. You still like it. The third bite, you can still taste it, but now you're just eating to eat it.
Wow.
So if you're really trying to cut back on your sugars and your unhealthy foods, take those 3 bites, and the last bite, make it very mindful. Like, feel how it feels in your mouth. Feel the texture, taste it, and then tell your body, I don't need it anymore because I can't taste you anymore.
I've already gotten the benefits. Wow, that's fantastic. I'm going to use that. She is the woman for mind hacks. I love it.
I have a random assortment of knowledge, but it's fun for me and it's my passion. So,
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
so do you crave sugar a lot?
I do. Mid-afternoon, I want to grab some kind of carb or something. And I love sweets, I have to say.
I love sweets too.
I do. So tell me, how do you know all of these things?
Probably thousands of hours of interviewing these experts. I did not go to school for this, but I have had the school of my wellness by nature. I would say that because I interview all these doctors and they tell us all this amazing information, like Dr. De Silva. I sit down and listen to those people talk all the time. So I've learned a lot.
That was powerful information. I can see why. Yeah. And those are the stories. It's the stories that make you really remember something because you identify with that.
So do you want to know another hack?
I do. I do.
So if you're craving something sweet, I encourage you to try something salty at that moment.
Okay.
And then that will start training your brain. That's probably
Of
something
course. Yes.
you'll
The
train your
exposure.
brain.
Yep.
So how would you say psychologically that works?
Rewiring your brain. So next time, okay, so what I'm getting from this is the next time that I am craving sugar, which will probably be this afternoon, I will try to grab for something that's more savory and see and be mindful about that. And so that's the whole thing about retraining your brain is just being mindful about what you're doing before you do it. And so this has been super helpful for me.
It's kind of amazing that just eating food and how you eat it and what you're choosing to eat goes right into psychology also.
It does. It is one, it's like the chicken or the egg. Which one comes first? The body is made holistically.
Yeah, mind, body, spirit.
Yeah, mind, body, spirit. And so we've got to treat the whole person. And so that's why all of your nutrition tips I'm going to bring back to my clients, because I think when we're talking about mental health and mental wellness and mood and, energy and all of those things, those are as important, and it goes back to the basics of what we're putting in our body.
So what I'm noticing is our food is declining, our nutrition is declining, which means our health is declining.
Right.
Because the quality of our food is declining, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed for you and your industry,
Right.
your technologies and your treatments are increasing and actually helping us.
Yes.
So tell me about that. Tell me about like the history of that and how much change you've seen in your lifetime, maybe.
Right. It's really night and day compared to what the generations, I would say our parents or our grandparents' generations are so different than what we are now. There is an acceptance way back in the day. Let's just talk about, 2 generations back. There was a lot of negativity and a lot of judgment around depression or anxiety or anything that stress.
They thought it was just something wrong with you. You
Yeah,
need to
just
fix
get
it.
over it, or we don't talk. Yeah, just stop it, or don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't leave it, because there was a lot of shame that was brought with that. And what's transformed in our lifetime is that mental health is now, especially with this new generation, embracing the wellness. And I think it's because of the industry is now turning towards wellness, and we need to look at how to bring back and reclaim all of our wellness.
Yes.
And so, these young people are not afraid to come in to do therapy. They're not afraid to try new modalities. And my industry has so many things that we talk about the nutrition as part of the mental. I always go to medical first, and then we can go into a variety of different modalities that don't require medication, that gives access to our ability to rewire our thinking and our behaviors, and we take the shame off of people that are struggling. That's part of life. That's part of being human.
I love that. And I love that this generation is open to like mental wellness.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's so important. Like, if you don't have your mental wellness, what do you have? I mean,
Right.
it's I could say the same as if you don't have your wellness.
Yes.
What do you have?
Right. Nothing.
But they're intertwined.
The new generation and this day and age is, I'm just so grateful to see that shift in taking the stigma off mental health. Mental health is part of the whole body health, and really we cannot separate them. I cannot stress that enough. And so we want to look at certainly what you're talking about today. What are we feeding our bodies? It's the first thing I talk about with clients. Well, let me find out what you're eating. How's your health? How's your nutrition? How's your water intake? How's your exercise? And then we start making those adaptations first, those changes, and then we go into, well, let's see what we can do to look at more of the emotional parts and the things that you're experiencing that is creating the unease.
I had no idea that was one of your first things you went to.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I love that.
I always say when we were trained, you start for the medical, right? We don't want to overlook anything that might be medical. And so if you're responsible, you're going to always talk to clients about, well, let's talk about your medical history and really day-to-day habits. What are you doing that is, the lifestyle, the sleep. I always say go back to the kindergarten. What is your nutrition? What is your exercise? And what is your sleep routine? And then we go from the basics and start building back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
As promised, and it makes sense to have this conversation because you just actually opened my mind to a whole new thing.
That's great.
We need to learn how to read a nutrition label.
That is so true. I've just now started doing that in the last, I would say, 10 years. And our generation did not have nutrition labels on them. That is something that we never learned about. And so this is something actually quite new. So that we need to learn how to do this, because in the later years, it's so important. The diet can shift everything back, and your mental health too.
Yeah. Well, let's walk through how to read a nutrition label.
Yes.
But the first number one tip is don't eat foods with nutrition labels. You don't need them. So,
I'm trying to compute that.
So fruit, does fruit have a nutrition label?
No.
Does avocado have a nutrition label?
No. That
Does
makes
chicken
so
have
much...
a nutrition label unless it's soaked in things?
Right.
So if you can
it's
just,
natural.
That's the easiest way.
Okay.
Don't eat things with nutrition labels. So 3 to 4 things I would say to help you read a nutrition label, because they did not make it simple on purpose. You realize that?
Sure.
They made it. They hide the ingredients. They hide the names of the foods. They hide the sugar all in there.
Right.
So they did that on purpose. But the first thing I would say is look at the ingredients. If there's more than 5 ingredients, I would encourage you to just throw it away.
Wow. 5.
5.
Just 5. There's going to be a lot of food going in my trash.
There's a certain chicken sandwich that has 126 ingredients in the grilled chicken.
Oh, wow. 120?
126. How do you decipher all of those? It's just chemicals. It's a lot of chemicals.
Wow.
So first, if there's more than 5 ingredients, I encourage you to put it away.
Okay.
But if you really want it, if the sugar is in the first 5 ingredients, throw it away.
Definitely throw it away.
That's like the easiest thing you can do. So
that's great.
But then how do we identify if it's sugar or not? Because there's 60 different names or more.
Okay.
So you can go to the podcast website. I've given you like a grocery shopping hack. It's like a cheat sheet. So you can find the sugars, you can find the hidden bad ingredients, but also there are apps now that actually you scan.
Yeah.
We did one with hot dogs, I think, one time to find the best hot dog or sausage.
Okay.
It's really amazing. So
which ones do you use?
I like Yucca.
Yeah, that's the one I use. Yeah, it's amazing. It takes me so much longer to go through the grocery store because but the more I learn, now I know to steer clear of the things that I thought were healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a video on that too. It's really fun. I liked the hot dog video, but
yeah.
So find the hidden sugars.
Okay.
Don't eat something that has sugar in the first 5 ingredients. Okay. Then look at the added sugars area. And if it has added sugars, that is unnatural sugar.
Okay.
That's a really easy way to spot that.
Okay.
Next, look for the bad oils. That's actually one of the first things I do. Is there soybean oil? Is there vegetable oil? Is there flaxseed oil? Is there soybean oil?
Wait a minute.
Palm oil?
Flaxseed's bad? I heard flaxseed was good.
Just depends. It depends.
Okay.
But the palm oil for sure.
Yeah.
And vegetable oil for sure.
They were marketing vegetable oil as the new healthy oil before, after the days of Crisco. So, wow.
They put the word vegetable, so if we think it's healthy.
Of course, I'm thinking it's made out of vegetables.
I
Wow.
know.
So, Casey, what's your favorite oil?
So I have 3.
Okay.
I love olive oil for anything under 400 degrees.
Okay.
Avocado oil for anything higher than that.
Okay.
But my favorite one, I just figured it out, is ghee. And it's not an oil.
I've heard of that.
It's clarified butter.
Okay.
It's like straight fat, but that's what our people in the 1900s ate, and they were so healthy.
Really?
I cook with it, and it's amazing. I can make
Really?
the best steak ever.
And does it have a temperature that we have to worry about?
No, it doesn't burn. It's just clarified butter. It's just
Okay.
straight animal fat, but I actually like cooking meats with it.
Okay.
Vegetables. It's just like olive oil or
Okay.
avocado.
Okay.
But they also make ghee with infused flavors like rosemary and garlic.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my new favorite.
Okay, that's
go-to.
another great hack because I can remember 3 ingredients, the 3 that I need to look for.
Ghee, avocado, oil, and olive oil.
Okay.
So those are my hints, my hacks
Wow.
for reading a nutrition label. But also now we have those apps that are great too. So
That's amazing.
okay, so do you know when our food started shifting to be industrialized?
Yeah.
So after World War II, they had all this machine oil and they didn't know what to do with it. They're like, we have so much, what are we going to do with it? And they actually made that into human food.
Oh my.
I made a video on this and it was very popular, so let's just watch that.
Okay.
Let me share with you the dark secret behind vegetable oil. Did you know that vegetable oil was actually created to be a machine lubricant? So during World War II, they had a shortage of lubricant, so they created vegetable oil as an alternative. But at the end of World War II, they're like, what do we do with all this vegetable oil? So they modified it and made it edible for us. It's true, look it up. Put that in your ChatGPT. When they finally made it edible for humans through lots of processing, they found it was cheaper and had a longer shelf life. So guess what happens? Now it's in everything. The problem with vegetable oil is it's linked to heart disease, obesity, and chronic disease. And this isn't our food, people. So let's talk about the healthy oils. When you're cooking over 350 degrees, avocado oil is a great choice. Under 350 degrees, olive oil. And another one of my favorites, ghee. Ghee is not oil, but it's amazing for cooking at high degrees and low degrees. So your life hack is choose real oil, not machine lubricant.
We don't have to be serious the whole time,
What we put in our body, you cannot again, I've said this before, we can't separate our mind from our body. So if we're poisoning our body and our body is not functioning, then our brain isn't going to function. And that affects our whole emotional system too.
So this is one of their biggest tricks because they're trying to make the food taste good because they want us to eat it. And of course, they put the chemicals in it to make it taste better.
Right.
Actually, some of the cereals that I've heard of taste terribly, but they put a chemical in it that tells your body that it tastes great.
I've
like
heard
Fruit
of that.
Loops or,
Of course.
like cereals, like colored cereals, all the food dyes.
Yeah. I think a takeaway that I'm hearing from you is that we really need to read our labels again, because we can't afford not to look at that.
Right.
Again, you're talking about the body, but my area of expertise is in the mind and the emotions. And again, the body and the body and the brain cannot be separated. And so if your body is not feeling well, then your mind and your emotions are also going to be unhealthy.
Yeah, it affects your whole life, just
does.
what you eat. I mean, if you think about it, think of your body as a car.
Yep, you're
What kind of
fueling
fuel?
it.
Yeah.
Yep. And I say that same thing to my clients. If you are fueling, depending on what you're eating, you're fueling your mental clarity or your mental focus. It's all the same thing. That's the fuel you're putting in your body. It's the main thing. It's going to feed your brain. The brain is the main thing that makes the whole body run.
That's right.
It's all integrated. So this is such a great topic.
I love that. Yeah. Another one of my favorite things to tell people is breakfast is the most important meal of the day. True or false?
True.
False.
False.
Yes.
Okay.
So the egg industry, they were producing so many eggs. I don't remember the time period. I'll have to research this.
Okay.
But they were producing more eggs than they needed to sell. And so they said, oh, well, we need to make breakfast. So early humans or humans
Right.
like in the 1800s, they ate once a day.
Wow.
And it was
Wow.
probably midday, good
Right.
like your protein and vegetables and good whole foods.
Okay.
Well, now they're telling us to eat morning, afternoon, in between, and the evening, and then some snacks. And that's actually terrible for your body.
Wow.
Because when you're digesting food, your body is focusing on digesting, not healing. So that's why
That makes so much sense. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah.
so they created the breakfast as the most important meal of the day.
Interesting. So that's why that maybe that intermittent fasting is so,
good.
it's so recommended.
Have you done that before?
I have done it briefly, and I will say that I have been raised on that whole premise of eating breakfast and all the little snacks in between. And so it was hard. It was very hard for me, but my sister does it. I have a younger sister who does it and has done it for years, and she swears by it. And I've heard such great publicity on it. So I might be willing to try it again.
I would encourage you to try it. I was a bodybuilder at one point.
Okay.
And I would eat 6 times a day, but small, very small meals, right? Because I had to be lean and a bodybuilder.
Right, right.
And so I went from that to I tried fasting, and now I can do it because I read all the benefits of fasting.
Okay.
It actually allows your body to heal. It allows your body to identify cells that they're dying or the dead stuff.
Right.
Get rid of them.
Really?
Yeah, if you think about it, if your body's not busy digesting, which is the hardest thing it
can
does.
focus on something
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's like he's like, oh, I have nothing to do right now. So I'm going to go heal. I'm going to go heal.
Wow, that's so cool. That's a good visual to think about, right? Because we're all trying so hard to heal our bodies, but we need something to attach to it to understand and to help us remember. Yeah. That's really neat.
So I always like to picture like these little cells in my body, like, shall we digest today or shall we heal?
Let's go on a healing journey. I love that.
So that's what I think of. And even if I get hungry, I actually practice intermittent fasting every day.
Do you?
I usually stop eating around 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And then I don't eat again until about 5 or 6 in the evening.
Really?
And
that's a long time, Casey.
And it is long.
Wow.
So you have to find, it's different for everybody. Like some people, I can do it, but some people just can't make it that long.
Okay.
I would say start just stop eating at 7 and then wait until 7 in the morning. That's 12 hours that your body had a chance to heal.
Okay.
And then start pushing it out just a little bit more.
One little bit at a time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that exposure therapy. That's exactly right. That's how we do a lot of the healing in my industry. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
You just expose it just a little bit at a time so our bodies can adjust and it doesn't feel like we're going into starvation mode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense too, because the body likes to act on the rule of averages.
Right.
What it's used to, right?
Yeah. And what it knows. And then it builds up that new knowledge that this is possible and this feels good and I can do this and all of that. So yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
Plus you lose weight, so.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Actually, this year, you've encouraged me to try that.
You can do it.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Actually, it's just the key here is make sure your body is getting the nutrients. And you can get the nutrients throughout the day, like taking your vitamins, your supplements. I actually take an amino powder that does not break my fast, but it's giving my body the nourishment it needs.
Okay.
Which is a really big key too. So
yeah.
It seems like in the mental health industry, technologies and therapies are really, really increasing and becoming way more effective.
They are.
Compared to like back in like the 1800s.
Oh my gosh.
Can you compare that, what they used to do, to now, like today?
Yeah, it's incredible. Okay, so back in 1800s, in 1880, I believe, they used to do lobotomies on people. And that is where they would go into the brain and really cut connections in the different parts of their brain. They were thinking that that was going to kind of calm people down, and they only did this on people that were really very severely mentally ill, like we're having hallucinations and delusions. But there was a lot of that going on. And the other thing that was, unfortunate about it is that mental institutions back there, back in the day, they were becoming overcrowded and they didn't have any place to put people. So they started experimenting with new techniques. So they started doing that. It hit the US in 1936, I believe. And after 1936, it really it gained momentum. And in the 1940s and the early 1950s, it reached its peak. I learned that there was 50,000 lobotomies done in that period of time.
Oh my gosh.
It's really frightening. And of course, the outcome was people were being flattened. Of course, some of the worst part is a lot of them died. And then they had apathy and they had the flatness, and it was just horrible. It wasn't what they wanted.
Did they lose their personalities?
They became very flat. And so, yeah, some of them lost their independence, because obviously when you start cutting neurons cutting connections in the brain, some of those functions are going to be cut off. It's just horrifying to even think about.
I'm very glad that's not our solution.
I know, right? So let's fast forward. Thank goodness our industry is becoming much more holistic. And so we can learn how to do things from releasing tension, depression, anxiety, through pure exercise. And there's 1,000 different modalities, from yoga to jogging to, being an athlete of some kind.
Any type of movement really helps.
Any kind of movement, walking your dog is even better, right? Because you have the energy of the pet.
Grounding.
Oh my gosh, we could do a whole nother
grounding.
episode on that. Take your shoes off and walk in the grass. It's the best thing you'll ever experience.
I'm not bare naked lady. I'm the barefooted lady who walks her dog in this neighborhood. My neighbors they're like, "Why do you walk barefoot?" And I'm like, "Let me tell you."
It's do the research on it. It's really grounding. It's really, really powerful. And then we can do things that just techniques that are wonderful for the mind. Of course, my favorite is meditation.
Yes.
Meditation will calm your whole system down, right? Yoga, there's different practices, there's Tai Chi, there's all kinds of things. Deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation. I'll bring in the art part. Coloring, adult coloring books. Why are they so popular? Because it is soothing, and it shifts you to the right side of your brain. Anything creative, music, dance. Any of the creative arts are super for mental health.
So we must really, really love that stuff, because we both love art. We both love dancing. We both love all the creative stuff.
It's a natural calming force in your life. We were just listening to, in between filming here, beautiful classical music. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's healing. It's so soothing to your soul. It really is.
Even Mozart has the healing frequency of 528.
Yes. Okay.
Hertz. Yeah.
So there's all kinds of meditation tapes out there. Look for the ones that help you get into deep theta and beta states. There's so much science behind this. So
It's a lot.
And and so it's all natural. That's what I love.
And what I love about this generation, in addition to the mental wellness and all that, is we're taking the woo-woo out of the things that we thought were woo-woo, like meditation,
right.
Right. I think the reason that they were shaped into being weird is because they were free. Like, you can't patent a plant.
That's right. Prayer, meditation, journaling, all of those things, they don't cost anything. Right.
Just getting back to the natural basics of life in this busy, busy modern world can be really healing. So.
Absolutely. This has been so exciting.
I love this conversation.
I do too.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's give our listeners some homework.
Okay.
All right, so I've got my advice, but let's start with you. What is your homework for our listeners?
So my homework for you this week is to find things and be mindful that make you feel good. So when you put something in your body and you eat certain foods after a meal, stop and think, does this make me feel better, or does it not make me feel better? It makes me feel sluggish and drowsy.
Yeah, just noticing how you feel
Yes.
afterwards, because sugars will make you'll have the sugar crash.
Right. And what we focus on grows. So really focus on, does this make me feel good? Does this food help me or does it hurt me? And that will be really helpful to, help your choices.
I love that's going to change some lives, I think, this week.
Yes.
My takeaway, my homework is to check your labels, look for the hidden oils and look for the hidden sugars. Check every single label when you're shopping and throw it out if it has soybean, palm oil, vegetable oil, or any hidden sugar. Pull up a seat next week as we talk about being okay with how we look. Self-acceptance in a world of social media. Well, that is it. Thank you for watching and subscribing, and thank you for pulling up a chair at the Ascended Table. See you next week.
This is the Ascended Table.